Okay, good morning. My name is Adrian Wiggins. I come from a small town in South Oklahoma. Oh my gosh, I'm kidding. Good morning. I would not do that to you. Is everyone awake? Sunday morning. We have a great topic today. My name is Adrian Wiggins. I used to coach Division I basketball. Currently, I coach high school basketball. I do leadership consulting and really specialize in high functioning teams. So that's our topic today. So we'll get right to it. The reality is we're in a culture that loves to get together, right? I mean, even just globally, we're connecting on levels that are incredible. As a culture, our planet is always getting together. We love to connect. We rarely find a situation where we just go, I'm out. I go out in the woods for 30 years and live by yourself. Nobody goes and lives by themselves. So our topic today is going to be teams and how they function. Leaders and followers. However you slice it up, I found that high functioning teams are made of two things. And the reason why I'm bringing this to you today is because you wouldn't be here on a Sunday at 11 in the morning if you didn't have some vision. If you didn't have something about you that made you want to do something that's different in this world. I do truly believe that some of you want to lead. You want to lead people to somewhere they've never been before, and you want to do something that's never been done. I believe that wholeheartedly with young people. It's one of their favorite things, and it's one of my passions in dealing with young people. So today, we're going to talk about the leaders on that side, leaders and followers. You stay with me. We're going to talk about what are our leaders? What are the 4 things a leader does? So what I want to connect with you today on, the 4 things a leader does to create a high functioning team. And my hope is that maybe there's something in this conversation that you'd like to take with you on your journey for your vision. And that somewhere along the line, maybe that helps. So let's get started right now, okay? Here's the deal. First off, we're going on thing number 1. What I've found is that the really great leaders, they stop and they think. See, all of you knew the answer, but some of you rushed. I put you in an emotional situation where you made an emotional decision and it wasn't correct. I need you to stop and think. I did. I tricked you. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. It's not a trick. It was the truth. I sped you up and you made a wrong choice and you knew the answer, but you rushed. I need you as a leader to stop and think. What's the obvious next question? Does anyone know? What's the next question? If I said stop and think, what would you say to me? How about, what do I think about? See, the second thing I found high functioning leaders do is they ask daily, what am I doing? See, they stop and think, and then they ask, what am I doing? Am I building something or am I tearing something down? But I'll teach you this, common sense is not always common practice. So I'm telling you, they practice affirmations. What affirmation is it's a sign of support or encouragement. See, what they do is they're constantly encouraging and supporting the people around them. You know why? Because leaders today understand one thing. You are living in a world that has more choices than you've ever had in the history of this planet. You are living in a society with hundreds of choices of Gatorade, pre, post, prime, G2, Gatorade in the morning. You have it all. Don't even get me started on orange juice. Some pulp, lots of pulp, no pulp, vitamin C, calcium. I can't even choose. Healthy Start, Home Start. You have a planet that is giving you more choices than you could ever imagine. And you have access to those. So why would I choose your team as a leader? And the great leaders have found that using affirmations makes people feel valued. You see, they go with a concept that I want you to consider taking with you today. Great leaders give all the credit, all the wins, all the glory to their followers. And great leaders take all the blame and all the losses and all the bad days. I see it in every book, every newspaper, every interview, every time I'm in a situation. I can tell what type of leader you are by how you take the glory, how you give the glory, how you take the pain. You see, people want to feel valued. They want to be a part of something special. If you're going to stop and think, ask yourself what you're doing. You'll find that you're building something special. If you're going to build it, then affirm them. They'll follow you. The other piece on that is be careful when you ask yourself what you're doing. You'll find that you won't chase minnows. And what I mean by that is out here in California whales, they beach themselves chasing minnows. Seems like a waste, doesn't it? And you're a whale. You're a whale in the ocean. It's limitless. And you get caught up chasing minnows. In life, we do it all the time. You're going in to have the best day of your life. You're changing your company forever, and somebody cuts you off in the parking on the street, and you spilled your coffee on yourself, and you get to the parking space, and someone took your spot again, and now you're mad, and you're making emotional decisions that are rushed and sped up. You didn't stop and think about what you're doing. Are you building something special? Are you affirming the people around you? Or are you just emotionally going through your day and answering questions off the cuff because you're smart enough to almost get it right sometimes? The third thing I found that leaders of great high functioning teams do, you see, what I found is that the best leaders, they're so curious. Leaders are curious, the third thing. Never stop being curious. And I'll tell you what's going to happen when you know you're around a great one. We've all done this, right? Have you been next to someone that you really admire, and the first thing you say to them is like, you're kind of awkward, and you're like, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? You know? I mean, do you ever say that to like your mom or dad or brother or friend? Do you ever like, do you mind if I speak to you? You never do that. You're like, hey, man, hey, you know. The truth is, when you're around someone that you really want to get information from, that you respect and you think is a way up here, you ask them first. You watch. Do you mind if I ask you questions? They always say the same thing. They look at you and go, well, no. And then you start talking. And every time you're around one of these great leaders, I promise you, here's what you're going to do. You're going to start talking, and before you're done, you're gonna leave, and you're gonna go tell your friends that you met someone. And then you're gonna realize, and you're gonna say out loud, you know what? They were great, but they asked me more questions than I asked them. And you're gonna find that they make you talk about you more than you could talk about them, because these leaders are so curious. They never stop asking and learning and looking deeper into their scenario. It's a great quality for somebody who has a passion. You might have this thing that you want to do that no one's ever done in the world. Be curious. Never stop asking questions about it. The fourth thing that I found leaders do on high functioning teams that I'm encouraging you to think about for your future team is they have a BHAG. Hit me. Who can tell me what a BHAG is? You will impress me. Do not depress me. If you know this, BHAG, anyone? Are we serious? Am I drawing a blank right now? It stands for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. BHAG, Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. And that was home row, people. And I'm pretty sure I spelled it right. That's how fast I got that down, okay? Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal is a part of almost all business corporations. They love to have BHAGs. They set these crazy goals. We don't use that word a lot in education. We don't use it in sports like at all, but we all do it. And you have to win the BHAG if you're going to be a leader. And I'm going to tell you why. There's two parts to a BHAG. The first thing is your goals. It's amazing, but like our culture likes to get together, we also like to improve. I'm willing to bet you right now that out of everyone on this Zoom, not one of you can immediately show me, and I can pull mine up, boom, you can't show me a candy bar phone. I promise you, you couldn't pull up a candy bar phone. You know why? Because we are a culture that loves to improve. We love progress. We don't like to go backwards. You didn't walk into Apple or Samsung and be like, hey, can I get that candy bar phone? I need like a retro phone. Can you give me that candy bar phone? I know you didn't do it. I promise you can't go into Costco and ask them, hey, can I get a TV that's like black and white that doesn't, I don't want a remote control. I want to get up off the couch and turn the channel every time and then sit back down to adjust the volume as well. Like, we don't do that. We just like improvement. So this BHAG, this Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal, is a huge part of of a leader's quest. Now I'm going to tell you this: 2 to 3 is the optimum number of goals per team. And law of diminishing returns happens. Experts say that as you get more goals, you're going to get less accomplished. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal about this? I'm going to challenge each of you to do one thing for me today. Okay, I've asked you to consider other things. I'm going to demand, Zoom demand. This is a Zoom demand that you do this today. I want you to call your team, text them, line them up if you see them in person. Ask every single person one at a time, what are their team goals? I promise you, if you have 10 people on your team, you'll get 17 different answers, just like you gave me when I said, what are teams made of? How can you accomplish anything if you don't even have the same goals? If you are in a team that is high functioning, dialed in, and ready to succeed, I promise you, you will ask them what their goals are, and you will get the same 2 or 3 answers from every single member on that team, from bottom to top. That's how you know as a leader, you are involved in a high functioning team. I promise that doesn't happen 95% of the time. Make sure you clearly define your goals and don't have too many. Next thing, are any psychology majors in here? Anybody psychology? They have a term called associative learning, Grace. And great leaders understand the power of associative learning. And what that says is this, and you think about this, people. If your brain doesn't initially hear a statement and consider it impossible, then your brain has no other solution but to consider it possible. So if I say Coco's going to be the first woman president of the United States, your brain cannot say that is not possible. Your brain will go, well, I see it. I see it. Coco's pretty organized. You see, that's called associative learning because there's power in words. You've grown up with it your whole life, but you just didn't know the term. See, the term is also known as spoken word. Biblical terms called spoken word. What you say, it tells you to watch your tongue. The other term you've heard in the media is called the term perception is reality. See, the media use that all the time. Well, perception's reality. It's not true, but if you perceive it, it's possible. You hear it in politics now called fake news. See, your generation is growing up hearing this. But associative learning is simply as this. If Bruce Lee said, mind your words, for they cast spells. Why else do you think they call it spelling? Ooh, interesting. Who was Cassius Clay? It's Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali. See, Cassius Clay, he became Muslim and changed his name to Muhammad Ali. But did you know when he was Cassius Clay, he used to tell everyone, I'm the greatest. I will be the greatest fighter ever in the history of this world. His brain they could not say that was not true. So it had no choice but to consider it possible. See, the great leaders know the power of words. You as a future leader have to use your words. In psychology, Grace, associative learning says this, your words lead to thoughts in your head. Think about this, your words lead to thoughts. Your thoughts lead to convictions in your heart. Your convictions lead to actions. Your actions lead to behaviors, and the behaviors are who you are as a person. All of that started with just a word. I've lived it on my teams. I have taken my teams through that path. I believe in keeping my perception, or keeping my vision in front of my reality. That's my last piece for you. You're going to enter some bad days. You're going to have people that don't believe you. You're going to have people that said you couldn't do it. You weren't smart enough. You weren't tall enough. You weren't pretty enough. You weren't rich enough. You weren't good enough. Your job as a leader is to keep your vision in front of your reality. You use your words to speak it into existence. You believe in the power of your words. You affirm the people that are around you. I want to tell you, thank you for letting me come and talk to you today. I would ask that you consider one thing. You consider what you want to remove from your life if you decide you want to add some of this to it. Because the truth is, we're all busy. We all have a lot of stuff going on. We get congested. We get caught up. We get distracted by things maybe that aren't healthy for us, maybe that are making us a less version of ourselves. So I'm asking you to consider removing something from your life to make room for this. And if you choose to do that, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I know the power of leadership. I know the difference what words can make. You're here already, and that's the first big step. I want to wish you the best of luck on your teams, and I look forward to answering any questions any of you might have. And thank you again for the opportunity to talk.